I'm Wendy Woodhall. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited today. We're going to be bringing ZEISS in for lens metadata for every project with ZEISS's Marius Jerschke. With us to help answer questions on the back end, we have Anna Schmidt. Anna is the cinema marketing, to handle cinema marketing for the Americas. So hello, Anna.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
And then the star of our show tonight, we have Marius Jerschke, and he is the Business and Ecosystem Development Manager for Digital Cinematography at ZEISS. Welcome, Marius.
Hi, welcome everyone.
We're so excited to have you here. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Before I joined ZEISS, I worked as a visual effects supervisor and art director. It was a small company, but because it was so small, I had to take care of everything. So the most of my time, I did advertising for over 7 years. And I did all the concepts beforehand as an art director. And then the onset part for the visual effects as a visual effects supervisor, and then in the end also to take care of the pipeline and to work together with my team, with the CGI artist, with the compositing artist, and did the compositing by myself. I had a good insight into the industry and how everything works. And then I figured out that I want to change something in the industry. And then ZEISS called me and told me, hey, we want to interview you and if I'm interested. And then I did it. And now I'm a business development manager at ZEISS for digital cinematography. And we are currently developing a new branch because normally ZEISS is only known for lenses. And they produce it in-house, also in Germany. And now we think, because of the industry is changing towards a more digital way of thinking, also to give, to try something for the visual effects industry, and in the end also for the virtual production industry. What you can see here, ZEISS CinCraft. CinCraft will be our new platform, our new ecosystem. We will use to announce new tools, for example, like the Mapper. Early in production, in development, we called it Map Generator, but the new name will be the Mapper. I will show you later the tool after the few slides, and also the use of it, you can generate some information with this Mapper tool, and then you can use this information in Nuke. And I will also show how you can use this in Nuke, for example, or how easy it is to implement. So why do we develop something like this at ZEISS? Because we recognize, or we realize that there's a big change in the industry. And there are also some productions only in virtual reality or only in virtual production. And sometimes they don't even need a physical lens anymore. And therefore, we think we need to develop something where we can support also these branches ways of thinking in visual effects and virtual production. And what do you need in all of these fields? It's the right camera and the right lens. You can say in a virtual environment, you don't need the right lens and the right camera, but the DOPs always want some cool looking lens effects, for example, and all the stuff they know from all the years from the 30s, from the 40s, from the 50s, and so on. And so they choose also in a virtual environment. They try to replicate the effect of anamorphic lenses, for example, or other lenses. So we try to give you the right lens also in a digital world. So just to give you a short overview where we try to make an impact. So what you can see here is just a very simplified overview of visual effects, not a virtual production pipeline, but a visual effects pipeline, because the first tool we will develop or we will bring out is only for visual effects. In the first version of it. So what you can see, you have the pre-visualization, the actual film shoot where you record everything and then you prepare everything for the visual effects. And then you have matchmoving, compositing, and CGI. And where we try to make an impact is matchmoving and compositing. Because for matchmoving, you need everything you can, everything you need, how do you say, all the information of your camera and your lens to make a perfect camera track. And then in compositing, you also need all the information, something like the distortion or the vignetting or something like this from the lens to get the compelling image in the end. The lens you use for a film shoot, it will dictate the look of the finished visual effect. So the DOP picks a lens, for example, and then the compositing artist has to make sure that the CGI and everything else in the image, for example, dust simulation, stuff like that, looks exactly like the lens the DOP picked. And therefore, we want to give you a new solution beside the older version, because normally you do something like a lens grid or so. I will come to this point later, to evaluate the lens and get this information. And we try to give you the distortion and the exposure fall off in a much simpler and faster and more accurate way. And even a little special that never was done before. But I will come to that later when I show you the tool. So maybe this sentence is real important, because knowing the distortion and exposure fall off of the physical lens is crucial to perform the match moving and compositing successfully. So I give you I think everyone in the audience know what match moving is, but maybe some more and less. So I just to try to give you a short introduction to that. So match moving is just to replicate the camera movement of the physical camera, which was used on set from the DOP, and replicate this movement to a virtual camera that can be used for CGI. So the match moving artist uses software to track certain points in the image. And then with this analyze system of the software, he knows exactly how the camera was moving, how high the camera was standing and stuff like that. So then in the end, you get your virtual camera, and you can use this virtual camera to film your CGI, for example, the dragon, the environment, the castle or something like this. And then you can use this information also to combine everything in the compositing. The compositing is also very simple to explain. I think you have your real life footage, then you have your CGI, and the compositing artist just combines those two, and also adds some. My GIF animation doesn't work in this presentation because normally it shows some GIF animations here. But I mean, you can imagine you remove the blue screen in the background, then you add the CGI in the background, for example, in the scene and in the foreground. And then in the end, you just put on the camera stuff like the film grain and the lens characteristics. So the distortion, the exposure fall of chromatic aberration, stuff like that. So what you need here is you have to remove the distortion from your footage, from your real life footage, because CGI doesn't have any lens characteristic at all. It comes out clean, and then you can combine the CGI, which is clean, with the real life footage, which is also clean after you remove the distortion, and then you can put it together and add the distortion and exposure fall off and any camera characteristics as well, like the film grain. So therefore, you need the knowledge of the distortion and exposure fall off as well. And then here a short overview of how it's done currently in the industry, the lens evaluation process, where they try to figure out what lens characteristics are produced by the lens. So therefore, what they do is they take photos of a lens grid. Normally, it looks like a checkerboard, and then the best way is you have some light in there, then you have your camera and your lens, and you need the camera and lens combination you also used on set. And then you the best way would be to put it on a dolly, because then you can change also the distance. It's very easy to level everything, and you have to make sure that the checkerboard is leveled as well. And then you just take a photo or a short clip. You just record, press the record button, and then in the software on the computer, the software can read the checkerboard image, and it will see the curvature of the checkerboard lines. And then with this analyze process, it can remove or it will get the distortion information off the lens, and then you can use this information to remove the distortion. And then you can also generate something called ST-map. This is a kind of image that holds some information that you can use to warp pixels around and to understort or distort an image. For example, you can distort the CGI, or you can understort the real life footage. And this is the normal process, but as you can see here, it's very time consuming. It's many manual steps. Also for the visual effects supervisor who will take the photos, or maybe the DOP will help him, or the AC will help him. Someone has to make the manual steps, and then you have your visual effects artist at least who will analyze the information there. And that can happen, or it's possible to make some mistakes during this process. You don't always have the time on set, so it's very old and analog, this process. And we at ZEISS, we try to remove this process completely. I mean, okay, we have to start at ZEISS with the ZEISS lenses, but therefore we try to give you a tool that is system independent, so you can use it with any operating system, with Linux, with Mac, or with Windows. And the only thing it needs is the metadata. So you can record your metadata in any way you want. So for example, if you use a ZEISS lens with extended data, this is one of the easiest way to get your metadata, then you can just record everything of it. Then you have your camera information, your lens information, your focus distance as well, and everything you need. And then you just feed our tool, and the tool will give you the right distortion information. And a little plus on top, it will also give you the exposure fall off information, or we sometimes call it also shading information or vignetting. This is just the light fall off from the center of the lens towards the edges. As you can see here, this is the map generator. This is our current version of it. And we start with the support of EXR files or EXR sequences, because many visual effects studios out there just don't use the RAW formats from the camera, for example, ARRI RAW or Sony RAW, Red RAW. They just convert the files to an EXR sequence, and then they use these sequences to do the compositing, to do everything, to the footage. And therefore, we start with the support of EXR sequences, and for example, also the ZSV file, which is a sidecar file that can be used to import the metadata itself, because we won't read any pixel information. In the future, you can just use the enter metadata manually if you don't have a file. For example, and you can just type in your metadata. So we don't read any pixel information. The software won't read anything of that, because, of course, the clients like Disney or so, they want to make sure that nothing leaks the process. So therefore, we just need the metadata. And I can show you here with a short sample. It's a test footage we created also for our early access phase of the tool. So everyone who will visit our website for the early access can download this test footage and try it on its own. So what you can see here, normally everywhere is a check mark, because you may, in a professional environment, you want to make sure that the metadata is in your file because you need it. So, but now for the showcase, we also have the support. If something is missing because of any transmission error, you can just put it in manually. So currently we support ARRI ZEISS lenses like the master macro and master primes, and also some from us, like the compact primes, high super speeds MK2 and 3, and the supreme primes, of course. And this shot was shot with a CP3 21 millimeter, and I can select these, and now I know it. So let's start all over here. The keyframes. What you can see here is an overview of a change, for example, here in the focus distance. And if there would be a change in the aperture, you will see this change as well in here. And this will give you a new benefit no one else can provide so far, as I know. We give you a frame accurate distortion map in the end. So if you have, for example, a shot where you start with a close-up of the actor, and then you change it towards infinity and film something in the background, the distortion is affected by the change of the focus distance. And therefore, we give you a distortion sequence, a ST map sequence you can use to underdistort your footage. So it's even more accurate than the other process where you just take maybe 3 photos of your lens grid in different distances and interpolate between those. So this is really something cool and new. And when the time I heard of it first, I thought, no way, it's cool. I want to use it. So now I can use it actually, and I try to make something cool for you guys. So what you can see here, you can select the camera model, your recording format. So we support also other recording formats from your camera, and then different models. And then you can also select the plate resolution. This is the resolution you will use in your compositing tool, for example, or in 3D equalizer, for example. And then you can just change it. I mean, the aspect ratio should be the same, but when I change this values, there's a little button in between, and then I can just click it, and it will calculate the right aspect ratios. For example, if I want to change to full HD, I can just type one value, click this little button in between, and then you're good to go. But this was really a lot of talking. Normally, it's just import, you check everything is fine, and you click confirm. So then in the last step, you can select your folder where you want to generate everything to, and then you can select between the distortion ST maps and the shading multiply maps. Currently, we don't support these, but after the launch in April, we will give you these as well. You can also select some settings. For example, we support something called skip the generation of redundant maps. Because we found out if you drag in a shot with 100 frames, for example, and you only have one frame that is changing because or no frame at all is changing, then it doesn't make any sense to render all 100 frames. So for this, you can just do this check mark here, and then you get only one frame and only one ST maps, which you can use to underdistort your image. But if you have a lot of changes, then also we will also support zoom lenses in the future, and then you have the focal length changes also in there. So when I go back a step here, then you will see the change in the focal length also in here. And this is also a big benefit, because if you think of a car chase scene, for example, where you have a Russian arm on it, and then your zoom lens on it, and then you change everything while you're driving and hunt the car, then it's easy for us to give you the distortion. Otherwise, for a visual effects supervisor with a lens grid, he's standing right there and don't know what to do. I mean, he can do something as I did, but it's not that easy. So after selecting these, and then I can check the price, have to check this, and then I click buy. Why do we have a price in here? Because we thought right now we only support ZEISS lenses or ARRI ZEISS lenses. And the problem is that not all DOPs on the world say, yes, we only use ZEISS lenses. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for us at all to give you a solution like a yearly license subscription or a monthly subscription, because it wouldn't be fair, because sometimes you use only maybe one ZEISS lens a month or so, for example, and then you just pay for this one shot or the 10 shot or what you are using. And therefore, we just charge per shot. Currently, it's the old system where we charge per frame, but we will change that in the future. So, I mean, we try to figure out to give you the best possible solution and also the best possible solution for us as well. Of course, we need some money because we, put money into the development. So then in the end, after you press buy, the tool will generate you a distort and the understored map. And then when we look in Nuke, we thought simple like this. You got your footage, then you have your ST map node where you can just plug in your understored ST map, which we generated with the ZEISS map generator or mapper now. And then the information of the footage will go out to comp. Then you have your compositioning, what else you're doing here. Then it comes back from comp, and then you can redistort using the distort ST map. So it's very simple, and you can use this ST map. This is the one, the other big benefit of our software. You can use the ST map in Flame. You can use it in Nuke. You can use it in any other compositing tool that works similar like Nuke. You can use it in 3D Equalizer. We also working closely with 3D Equalizer to get another solution for our XT lenses there as well. And then, and you can use it in almost every tool you want to use. And we will also support After Effects in the future, but this is another topic because After Effects doesn't support ST maps, but therefore we will give you also a solution. And then in the end, you can just render it out. And the big benefit of it is, if I jump maybe to a lens grid where we can compare the process, because normally you use the Nuke node, where the Nuke node tries to figure out how the lens grid, how the curvature of the lines is, and then it will analyze it and remove and you can use this information to remove the distortion. And it works really great. Nuke does a very good job, and this is the only way to do it right now. So very, very good, very fast. But of course, we have now the direct information about the lens because we built them at our facility. So with this information, we can give you the even more precise. I mean, it's almost the same, but in some cases we are even more precise, and then you can use this information even faster and produce even complexer shots. So this would be our vision to eliminate the lens grid in the end, to make it even faster for visual effects supervisors on set, DOPs and ACs, everyone who is involved there, and then also on the side of the visual effects studio. And we know currently we only support ZEISS lenses, but we really try, we will try in the future to get others maybe on board, because we think we have something really cool here. And what else can I say? Yeah, we will support zoom lenses from ZEISS after the launch, and also anamorphics. We will update this during this year, and many more updates, as well API version or a command line version, because we know that you don't want to import an EXR one by one. You just want an API command line version. You put it in your pipeline, and then you're ready to go, and you can process all your shots during the night, for example. So we try to give you the best possible product, and feel free to give feedback as well. We are still collecting feedback, and we try to change our roadmap towards a real cool product that will support anyone in visual effects. Yeah, so that's it from my side. This was our new product, and thank you very much.
Thanks to everyone who submitted questions in the chat. So Marius, our first question here from Megan Thomas. She was wondering about how beefy of a computer is needed to get the software to work, and then what platforms are supported. If you could give a recap on that.
Yeah, you can use it on any platform. You can use it on Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and you don't need a beefy computer at all. You can just use your laptop and use it. I'm currently on a laptop. Okay, maybe it's a little bit a beefier laptop, but no. Also, my colleagues can use it. It's very easy. It's we try to optimize the performance even more step by step. So yeah, but you can use it on any system.
Awesome. Thank you, Marius. We have Gary Adcock with us today. Hi, Gary. He is curious about the roadmap for other lens manufacturers that we'll be supporting for the platform. I know you touched on it during your presentation, but can you give a recap on that as well?
I mean, we don't have a clear road for this because we will start the launch first, and then we have to approach the other manufacturers, and we try our best to get them on board. But we have to figure out what ways we can choose to convince them. And the first ones we try to contact, I think, will be Cook, because they invented the Cook/I protocol. Extended Data is also using or is built upon this protocol, but Extended Data gives you even more information, like the distortion and shading information. But we will approach Cook/Cook, of course, and maybe Ingenieur, and so we try.
The next question we had is the map generator compatible with Unreal Engine, the plugin with Unreal Engine?
Not right now. I mean, maybe there's a way where you can use the ST map in Unreal Engine as well. But we also in exchange with Epic Games, because we want to give you a solution for this as well. And CinCraft, our new ecosystem, is not only for the mapper and for visual effects. We try to give you also something for virtual production, and we are really working hard on this, and also in strong collaboration with other tracking systems and Epic, and we try to give you something for this during this year.
Are there lens files CSV for all ZEISS lenses?
This is more a specific question for our technical team. I can't really answer that right now, but normally there's also a way to record the ZLZF file. So this is the special sidecar file from our lenses, and the ZSV file is also possible, I think. Normally you can use an additional recorder on the camera to record these files. And it should be possible with every. I mean, if the question is how can you use our mapper tool with older lenses that don't support extended data, then of course you need something like a C-Motion Pro, which will read the focus distance and stuff like that, so that you get all your metadata together. But when you have all your metadata, then you just get your distortion information.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys. Lots of great information. So make sure you head to our YouTube channel. We have over 70 videos. Click subscribe, then hit the bell, and you will be notified every time a new one drops. That being said, don't forget to connect with us. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Use the hashtag LAPPG. Follow us. We will follow you. And a huge thank you to our partners, AJA at the platinum level. At the gold level, we have Adobe, Blackmagic Design, OWC, ZEISS, Frame.io, which is exciting. That's a new one who just joined us. Welcome to them. At the silver level, we have Isotope, SGO, and Reduct. And as you can see, we have lots of supporting partners, media partners, and community partners that help bring LAPPG to you. Thank you so much, and we will see you next month. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.